Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Poseidcast. With me tonight, I have the one and only MikeMetroid, someone who has been in the community for a very long time. If you ever see on Twitter some Sujinko Johnny clips, it's probably him doing them. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, Mike. Thank you.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, anything you would like to say before we get into some questions and stuff here?
Buff Johnny, right?
Yeah,
Johnny,
I think
right?
you're the
He's
only person that says that. It's too dry.
Buff,
Yeah, maybe a little
he's
mix.
too dry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get some instant. Let's make that forward for 8 frames or something.
Yeah, let's mix some things up.
Up block. You have up block. You can up block.
Yeah, on reaction. Yeah, of course. Guys, gotta spread the propaganda.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Mike, as I mentioned, you have been in the community for quite a while now. When did you first get into it, and how did you first get into it?
So, I grew up with MK. I am the youngest of 4, so I have 3 older brothers. And growing up, we played all sorts of fighting games and beat 'em ups and things like that together. A big household game was Street Fighter, right? So specifically Street Fighter Alpha 2 on the Super Nintendo. My brothers are a lot older than me, right? The one closest to age to me is 6 years. So I'm 4 or 5 years old. The brother closest to age to me is 10, right? So growing up, trying to keep up with them in games was a difficult thing when I was a little kid. And one of the biggest things was playing Street Fighter. Like, I can't throw. I'm a toddler. I can't throw a Hadouken.
Yeah,
okay.
You're mashing.
But I can do back low punch and throw a spear, or you know what I mean, or do down forward freeze. And so, like, as a kid, I gravitated to Mortal Kombat just because I could play the game.
Yeah,
a
little bit
made
easier.
For Western people, it's a lot easier, a lot more forgiving on the timing. And growing up, that's just what it was for me. I never really liked the Street Fighter. It was always around. My brothers were always playing it, always crushing me in it. But around, I'd say like 2004, 2005, 2004, MK Deception was on its way to being released. And my brothers who were online showed me, and that's kind of like my introduction to online MK, like the idea of an online MK community. And I was a casual MK fan for many years, probably until I was about 13. So we were sitting around 2008, 2009. And I started participating in MK2 tournaments online, right? And this was just with the casual fans, TRMK, or MK Informer, MK Online, those things like that. Like 2008, 2009, I started doing, because my brother was playing Ultra Street Fighter 4. It wasn't Ultra yet. It was just Street Fighter 4 in 2009. And I'm liking this. I'm a little bit young, so I'm get angry, I get salty, but I started to then compete at MagFest tournaments. I don't know if anybody knows what MagFest is. If you don't,
I don't.
MagFest is the Music and Games Festival. It's a convention that lasts about. It's a festival. It lasts 4 days straight, and it's one of those just gamer conventions where there's like a big arcade room and console games and everything like this. But they had a real MK2 machine, and I played in an MK2 tournament, and I won.
You won.
And I had that taste. I got that bloodlust of 13 cooking guys who had no idea what they were doing. So, I have to add that when I was a casual, I used to watch like Shock's combo videos. If you ever see Shock, you guys know who Shock is.
That sounds very familiar.
Shock is the owner, the other half of Kombat Network.
Okay.
So he is a longtime, godfather of the MK scene. He is who was running MK tournaments before MK9 came out. Shock, Dead, Conqueror. There's tons of these old heads that used to make combo videos, right?
Yeah.
And like 10-year-old, that little young age me would go on go on Midway Arcade Treasures and like do these tournaments and like and I do these tournament combos that I was seeing in these videos. And I took that to MagFest.
Awesome.
So I just crushed them, right?
Right.
Destroyed them. The next year, we get word that MK9 is coming out. So once again, I go to MagFest, and this is MagFest 2011, and I lose. I play UMK3, and I lose to a guy named Renegade. I don't know if you know him, but he was the guy who ran Civil War.
Oh, okay.
I
think I know what that is. Yeah.
So it's starting to piece together. My brother, he's been at it for a couple years now at Street Fighter. He went to a Big E tournament just 2 months after that. You guys know Big E.
And ECT, right?
And it was Winter Brawl. He went to Winter Brawl 2011, and he went for Street Fighter, but he said, "Hey, Mike, they got UMK3 there, right? Because of Shock on them."
Yeah.
Sure enough, ECT come around June 2011. I'm 16 now. I'm ready to compete. My brother Ray went to a tournament. He checked it out. It was good. So I was there. I went to ECT 3. I want to say late June 2011. And I went for MK9, and I met a lot of people there, like Shock. I met 16-Bit, Swift Tom Hanks. I met Rio. There's so many people.
Damn, okay,
and I ended up placing 13th out of like 130 something people.
Oh damn, people really came out.
Oh yeah, I outplaced 16-Bit.
Yeah, let's go.
So, go and you look at
throw it in there.
Yeah. I outplaced a lot of people that you might recognize in that list, right? And that's where it kind of began. I met Shock. I saw the Test Your Might banner on the wall. I created an account on Test Your Might. And I've just been going back to tournaments and sitting in the scene since, man. Just kind of being on a fly on the wall, playing the game, maining Johnny Cage. I just, sometimes we don't fight our hobbies. Our hobbies just kind of pick us. Yeah,
that's true. And you mentioned this before we started, but I kind of want to get your take on it. Where you said you're kind of like this weird like middle ground in the community. Well, you're there and you're pretty active. But you don't really like take it too seriously, but you're like really good, but like it's kind of like this weird mish where like how do you like I guess go about it or approach it? Is it just you just play whenever you feel like it, go to tournaments whenever you feel like it, kind of like that?
Yeah, I mean when life permits, right? At the end of the day, I have a full-time job. I have, my responsibilities as a nearly 30-year-old adult to take care of.
Same.
You know what I mean? Like that's what is there. So right now, the way I see it, I am gonna fuck you up in a tournament. That's the idea.
Yeah.
To me, has always been the idea that everybody sucks but me. Right? And everybody should have that mantra about themselves. So I just like being competitive. But at the end of the day, I know when it's like, all right, you're better.
Yeah,
all right,
that's it. You got it.
Yeah, all right. Yep. But I find a lot of enjoyment in working the crowd, being offline. I fucking just love interfacing with the community. I like being hype. I like making things fun.
That's what it's about. It's all about.
It's what it's all about, man.
Yeah.
I have a lot of fun being that Sweat. And at the same time, I know it's not my life.
Yeah.
So when you have that branch and this MikeMetroid is a character.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's
For
like
real,
a WWE character. Like, granted, he's 99% me.
Yeah.
It's just the way I was introduced to this scene. Like I came on the scene and I had to deal with fucking characters and egos and all this lore and everything. So I was going up, CD Jr. and Tom Brady and Rio and all these names that just like
kinda
fucking
like,
had weight to them.
Yeah.
And like I had to navigate with that. But I also still wanted limelight.
Yeah.
But I'm a new guy. I'm a kid, so you just kind of have to be reasonable. You got to not steal other people's show, make your own show, right? Like, when people are playing their match, you don't want to make it about you, right? Stuff like that. And over time, I just kind of am who I am now. I am like a competitor at heart. You know, I will always be. I will always side with our competitors. I'm always trying to make sure that pro players get their opportunities and making sure that offline events are promoted. You know, I will always try to uphold that competitive spirit. And as things have gotten more complicated over the years with tournaments and sponsors and the people, you know, getting to know the people behind the scenes, I've kind of, I don't want to say I step back, but I bite my tongue, because there's a lot of people that work on this. Right? There's a lot of good people who spend their time and their money into the Pro Tour that everybody fucking hates.
That's like their job is to do the Pro Tour, at least for that time period. They're dealt with the cards that they're dealt with. And you have to, when you learn these things, you kind of step back just a little bit. Now, it's not that I don't have the competitor side on my mind, you know. Trust me, I do. But, you know, you're not selling copies of the game. You don't have this working relationship between them, and they don't do it back. NRS, I mean, WB doesn't hire any pro player or anything to advertise or do any. So it's like this weird relationship between the community and the devs right now that I just I don't give a fuck about. I just I can't, as a competitor, be constantly dwindled by this shit. You have to just kind of do what you want. If you want to play competitive MK, you will go find it, go to it, fly to it. It's gonna cost you. But it's a luxury. It is a luxury to have this
luxury.
Stuff.
It's a luxury. And if you want it, you have to go to it. You have to build. You have to. It is a loss. You are not gaining anything.
100%. Like,
this just is what it is. You're not gaining anything. So go for the spirit of competition. Go for, you know, you wanting to be a part of a community and meet people like you. Go to show everybody the badass Johnny Cage Shujinko combo that you've been working on the big stage.
True, you know, I mean, honestly, and then someone could upload it, and it could be like their second most popular YouTube video.
What? But you get what I'm saying, right? Like my whole stance is like I like to be doing my own thing, and my thing is just the competitive MK. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'll play all of them. I'll bitch. I'll complain. I'll post tech. I'll post. I just love that aspect.
I feel that, and I love like that energy in there, because I'm in a lot of parts a similar way. But I also see like kind of some of the problems that the NRS community has, as you mentioned, and I always try to look at it as like, what can I control? Like, I feel like when we look at it, it's like, oh, well, it's like I feel like we kind of just like point and be like, NRS, do this, make the NRS community survive.
At noob DD at 16-bit
Pro Tour, when is it happening? When is it gonna happen? I need it. As if we're owed it. As if we're owed it. When realistically, I mean,
we're not owed it.
And a big thing is like, they make the game, and that's it. That's what they do. They make the product. It's like the people who make the football don't run the NFL. It's like it's just a separate thing.
And what I think is happening now is, with WB being the large group of suits they are, it's putting NRS in a weird position that they're bound via contract, that something's up here, like,
because
what's happening is, you know, they pulled out production's gone. So over the last 8 to 10 years, since I would say 8 years, probably when Injustice 2 came out, what, 2017?
2017,
So the last 7 years, NRS has been doing fucking everything.
Yeah.
But now they can't.
Mm-hmm.
And they left a fucking abyss.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And at the same time, what used to be Kombat Network, what used to be like like all these offline streamers that would stream MK, they've been pushed out. They've been gone for years now.
Yeah. I mean, you see them like pop up here and there, but like...
Yeah, but but before, you know, you could have a wide variety of streamers. You know, Medina, I think one of his names. Like, we had a lot of streamers for MK. You know, like in the Midwest, you had these guys. West Coast, you had the
Tri-State.
They're all gone now.
Yeah.
They're all gone now. Everybody gave up on streaming because NRS came in and said, "No, we're going to stream our own shit." And now that they're gone and there's no Pro Tour,
it's like, hey, come back, please.
come back. But if they're not going to come back, what are you going to do as a competitor?
Yeah.
Right? How bad do you want it?
True.
Because you're going to have to build for it. You're going to have to.
Yeah, we have to definitely operate. I've been saying this, but operate as if we're grassroots. I think it's like, I mean, we have, you know, if NRS announces something great, but even if they do, like, even what the last Pro Tour was terrible, and there was only a couple events, and there was like a lot of it was online, that like people don't mess with online, or people only play online. It's weird.
Right.
But so even if they do, it could be, you know, just like the last one, and then that's not going to come and, you know, just completely build a huge competitive scene and get in a bunch of casual people who don't even know about the competitive scene.
Right, and it's not selling copies of MK1.
Yeah, it's not. 100%.
You know, and that's and this is where I'm gonna rag on our players. Like, man, you guys are fucking boring. Fucking, like, I get it. You got to play at the highest fucking level, and it's NRS's fault for making the games at a high level really fucking bad, like Homelander. But man, it's boring. No, you know, I don't blame you. I get it. But you got to make the game look fun so people can buy it and also want to compete.
Yeah.
And it's just like, should I blame the competitors? Probably not. But also at the same time, is it somewhat
their fault? Yeah, but if they're trying to win,
they're trying to win, but they don't. I feel like this is the one game where I call them out on it because the game is really robust. Like,
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Why the fuck is nobody using Shujinko?
Shujinko is like some characters is like crazy busted. Like,
it's crazy.
When I saw at Evo that you're gonna play Toxin, I was like that's like you're gonna do something cool. You're gonna do something cool.
And if I just played a little bit better, I probably would have won.
Yeah.
You know, but I didn't play, but he outplayed me. I didn't.
And Toxin's like world class. It's not like you played.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just such a struggle between the players being like, you know, we want opportunity, we want this, but what do they give back?
Yeah, nothing.
You know, constant harassment on Twitter.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. Like,
follow it. You don't build anything. You have small pockets of build.
Yeah.
But the build is always for one brand.
Yeah.
Right? It's never the MK community.
Yes.
This is my tournament league. This is my tournament league. Now this is my tournament. And we might see some partnerships here. But what's happened is that we've gotten so many of them now.
Yes, we're all like...
That it doesn't work, in my opinion, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not that Shirai Ryu Sunday fights or Destroyers COTR or Coliseum. It's not that any of them are invalid. It's just... We've gotten to a point where we just have so many.
Yeah, and literally every day there's an online tournament, multiple.
You know, Slayer's 2 p.m. Wednesday tournament. And the problem with the constant self-content grind, like that, is it's just
you're not supporting the whole thing. Yeah,
you're just not, and I don't blame you, right?
Yeah,
like you can't. It's what's the issue is in today's.
Become self-focused.
Of our community.
Self-focused for sure. Like Aquaman was
like you're gonna get.
That,
yeah, I mean, you're. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
If you're not trying to go to a tournament and do some swaggy shit.
Yeah.
You want to be able to be paid for all the time that you spent. So you're going to content create and you're going to do that. And you want to get those. Yeah, I get it. But it's so damaging for a community.
Yeah. And I mean, at least for me, and I'm not trying to like pat myself on the back right there, but like anything that I do is usually just so I can essentially do more, like run tournaments. Like the most selfish thing I'll do with the money I make from this is go to a tournament with it.
Right.
You know, and so it's like it's like what you're saying. It's like there's a cornfield, and the community is the cornfield, and people will go and take from it. But if you don't plant any more corn, eventually there's going to be no more corn. There's going to be no corn.
and what we're dealing with is the main cornfield all just got swept up by NRS.
Yeah.
And WB. It's just gone right now. And
100%.
On an unrelated note, Big E being out of the picture really hurt tournaments.
Yeah.
Big E, no Big E tournaments is detrimental for the East Coast scene.
Yeah, 100%.
Bottom line.
Yeah, I mean, like sometimes
we don't have our consistent Winter Brawl NEC Summer Jam cycle.
Yeah, those like 3 big tournaments.
Granted.
Yeah,
we took that shit for granted, man.
100% agree.
If we had those right now, people would be going to them because what else would you go to?
Yeah, there's nothing really else to go to, and it's like I said, like when it comes to like, no, you can go on. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying. My last one is just like that was grassroots, right? And we need that again.
So
that's it.
Yeah, so MK9 was basically like grassroots, right? There wasn't. I mean, maybe there was towards the end of it. I don't know. I wasn't around at all.
It was grassroots. My first at ECT, bro. The wall of monitors was like a mishmash of CRT TVs and flat screens. Like we didn't have these yet. You see, this is the original Evo monitor from back then. We didn't have these yet.
Yeah.
So we were still rocking like CRTs and like whoever brought in their 32-inch.
Yeah.
We weren't as much of a stickler as we were on input delay and shit like that.
Yeah. It was just like whatever. Just play. What do you mean?
The stream was somebody sitting in the back holding the and it was streamed on Justin.tv. You know. I would say it was pretty grassroots, and then we didn't really hit like big time. I don't know. Once NRS started dropping 10K pot bonuses, that's probably when it started getting really like.
Was that in MK9?
That was MKX.
That was MKX. Okay.
MKX, yeah. Injustice 1, we started being unified on consoles and setups. So we started using 360s. We started making sure that every setup had a set of speakers.
Yeah, like everything was up to code and was a monitor.
Oh,
and
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I would say definitely during Injustice is when that really started kicking off. It still felt grassroots, though, right? Like I just went to a Big E tournament last year. That shit still feels like fucking grassroots.
Yeah.
There's a part of it that never.
Yeah, no,
grassroots.
Because it's like the NEC. They had wristbands. They didn't have like the badge thing. It was just like you just got a wristband, and that was it. And there was although it was like the size of like a major, maybe, or maybe a little bit smaller, it definitely had like a grassroots feel, like you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, for MK, for Combat Network at least. We just made sure our quality, you know, our equipment is quality. We updated things, we fixed things. We used to have notoriety that we were combat not work because we would run into completely unavoidable issues like, oh, we don't have the internet drop or something like that. Luckily, you know, I gained a skill set to prevent all of these mishaps from happening. Like I made a fucking Ethernet cable at one event.
You made one?
Yeah, like I crimped up an Ethernet cable and fucking ran it myself in the hotel so that we would have hotel Wi-Fi. I mean, hotel internet, you know.
Wired internet.
I remember one time for an MKNJ. I had the janitor of the hotel let me in the network closet, and I took the jack out for the room that we were in out of the switch that was in, and plugged it right into their fucking Comcast business phone. So that we would have so that because when we were plugged into the switch, these fuckers were throttling us via the port, and we were only getting like 10 meg down, 10 meg. I was like, no.
Damn, that's awesome.
Custodian totally just let me in. I was just like, hey, and he was just like, hey man, anything for the guest. I'm like,
all right, thank you. I appreciate it.
There's always a form of grassroots.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's ever not been, but we definitely went unified on the equipment. I'd say Injustice, late MK9, all the same monitors, all the same systems. Started using common network accounts and things like that. But there's always going to be a bit. There's always grassroots there. You know, we do this for a living.
Yeah, I mean, like because you have your locals. Because like the major tournaments are nice, but those happen like you go to what like 4, maybe 5 a year if you get a nice job, gives you PTO and stuff like.
Right.
Yeah. So and then unless you're like
for the hotel and travel.
Yeah, travel and time off. Yeah, exactly. That's like the whole thing. That I mean, it's a big issue now. Like because you need people to show up at the same time. Like I understand that it's not worth it. Like I understand if you could just play online. Like I said, there's tournaments every night. You could play in a tournament every single night from the comfort of your room, and when you're done, you can just turn it off, go watch some TV, or hang out with your girlfriend or wife or whatever, or your friends or your roommates, and just chill. And instead of having it be your whole day, because like there's the local I go to, considered a local. It's like an hour and a half away in Rochester.
Right. And MKNJ is 3 hours away from me, by the way.
Yeah, so it's like it's a whole day. It's like your day is doing that. You're driving there, you're playing, you're driving back. And it's one whole weekend day that you get 2 of. You know.
One's a school night.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So it's like, it is a big commitment, and I obviously enjoy it. I love it. Like you mentioned, like you just enjoy the competitive aspect of it. Like I enjoy competing, and I feel like if I was looking at like all this from a business standpoint, competing would be the least profitable one, but it's also the only reason I do this in the first place. It will be the last thing to go. I will be competing long after Shirari is gone and long after the YouTube channel's gone. I'll be 50 if I've been playing. Like
and there's a competitive spirit. It could really thrive offline. Just playing casuals with people, just sitting in a fucking room playing casuals. Talking about matchups, showing each other tech. At the end of the day, there's only one winner, and we as a community like to recognize and fish prop.
What's that?
And like they like to be like, oh, I got top
8,
I got top 30. Like I did this, and then they put it in their Twitter bio. They're fishing for props.
Yeah, right.
And then there's people that recognize it, so it's just like an endless circle jerk.
Yeah.
You didn't get any. I think it's but it's good. Like you need that.
Yeah.
Because at the same side, there is only one winner, and we can't just like put that person on a pedestal. Like
but then it's also like because they said there is only one winner, so like 1,000 people go to a tournament, only one person's gonna win. Only one, and if someone the person
the rest of the people needs to be great.
Yeah, true. I mean, it's like that's a big thing. Getting just people growing the community is making it so people who are going to go and do bad are still going to have a good time. And like you mentioned with everyone playing Homelander and stuff, and fucking Havoc, Sindel, or Johnny Cage. Can you imagine playing Johnny Cage in any MK game for real? I mean, but for example, there was this bar tournament. The Barcade hosted these Smash tournaments, and some of the competitive guys went, and I talked like, hey, if you're playing a casual, like, don't beat the shit out of them. Like, don't just 3-stock them and kill them, and like let them hit you a little bit, or play a little bit more fun, play a little bit more free. Don't be just so they have a good experience. You know what I mean? Because they go to a tournament and get absolutely destroyed. It's like, why would they go back? Like, what would be? Why would they want to play again?
Smash tournament.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that, getting just fucking ledge grabbed, and I'm just like, this is cheap.
Brawl had some like Melee has some messed up stuff in like a really cool way. Brawl has a fucked up shit where it's like if you don't know, 2-frame up air that you can just spam. It was crazy. You could fly.
I got bullied, bro.
Yeah,
it was, and I feel like grassroots tournaments like NEC, Winter Brawl, are way more fun for those people because it is not a big spectacle. It is not $100, $150 registration. I mean, it is. Maybe then again, maybe it would.
It's close. It's not that much cheaper.
I haven't.
Renting out those places is very expensive.
But you have to think about it. Like it's still compared to like Evo, right?
Yeah. No, its size is minimal. It's like a tenth of the spectacle.
I knew a lot of people that went to Evo, right? But it was just so big that I didn't even see them. Right. A lot of people, like a lot of my friends in other games, like there's just all of us are there.
You're not just gonna bump into them. Yeah.
Whereas like at an NEC, you would.
Yeah.
You'd be like, let's get some games, let's get a drink.
Yeah, let's hang out. No, I mean like we were talking about how the big events are like basically on. So it's like, what do we really have? I mean, like there's just other events. So there's kind of like.
We have to build it.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree.
We have to have a couple people get together, pick a venue, pick a date,
and do all the work.
And just do all the work,
and put up your own money and probably lose money. Yeah, spend it on the weekend. Get criticized when something goes wrong.
See, we're on to something.
Yeah, I think we should do this. I think we should do that.
Maybe we could fix this. I don't know. It's tough, right?
Yeah.
Like,
especially with the internet age.
The internet age is tough, man. I just really wish all I could ask for is more community members who want to be themselves. Be you. Stop copying people. You know, if you don't know how to do something, that's all right. Look at it. So, if you don't know how to do reptile Sonya combos, look at Poseidon, look at what he's doing, right?
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
Adapt it, right?
Yeah,
but you don't necessarily want to dictate your gameplay to just be copying it. Copying it. You want to be able to decide when you want to back three with reptile, when you want to overhead, when you want to move left and right.
Shoot your projectile.
Everybody, like how you move in the game, I don't know. I feel like if you took the name tag away, I should be able to tell it's you that's playing.
Because it's like a form of like. I'm sorry, like it's kind of like a form of self-expression. Like you said.
Like it's like playing an instrument, right? And everybody's just copying each other, and that's what makes you easy to beat.
Yeah.
Very right? Like like you're gonna play Johnny Chameleon. What are you gonna do? You're gonna do glaive. Shadow kick into Chameleon lift, or like
do glaive
you're gonna do. Forward 3 glaive, or what are you're gonna sit full screen and throw glaive? Like you can't play to a beat. You can't copy somebody's tune. And all I can say to people is, if you want a fun experience, just pick the character you like.
100%. Like that's
100%. Pick a character you like, you will find something, and I guarantee you, there's an answer. There is an answer in this game. I know Homeland is egregious. But there's an answer. There's so many options in MK1.
Yeah, especially with because like the character cameo combinations. Like, how many people can claim they're the best what? Like, I'm the best reptile Sonya in the world.
Whatever that means. Like, I just want people to contribute, to share tech. I want them to be competitive, but I don't want them to be fucking assholes.
Sounds like you're asking like a lot. You're not, but like I feel like it would seem like a lot if you were to make like that.
Talk your shit. Keep it in the game, bro.
Yeah,
you don't have to go that hard. Like
because that's like
now you're hitting. you're spewing hate speech. It's just like,
yeah, it's calling people ugly when it's like we're playing a video game. Like,
this is a video game. Brother.
Like, let's just play the game. Like, I'm not trying to be good looking. I'm trying to play MK. Like,
I just hope that people can find something that they can contribute. You know, and sometimes that is just coming to a tournament and being a body, being a number. You know, playing people, and that's okay. I just think that we all possibly all cannot make our own content creator. Like,
not everyone can be successful doing that. Yeah, not everyone can be full-time content creator for Mortal Kombat.
And I would argue that the guys that are successful, they're successful because they did this shit.
Yeah.
They did this shit for many years. They went to tournaments. You know, Foxy flew across the fucking sea.
How many times?
Many a times.
Yeah.
Right? He earned and worked hard for it.
Yeah. And still actively does. Yeah.
Right?
Like the amount of times
I think that Waznator fella, I think same thing. Went to tournaments.
And he's coming from Australia. He's flying like two-day flight. Like yeah.
And for you to have that, you have to start with the grassroots. And if NRS isn't going to be there for us, you have to build something, and it will not happen with online. Yeah. It just won't.
No, there's something missing. Like, and we see like, you know, I feel like Rips Arena has reached like some sort of apex online stuff, but like still like a major MK tournament will still double, triple those views just because it's just an offline tournament. It's like you can see the people. It's like it's real. Like it's happening real time, and like
there's a line of and there's a good amount of just anonymity to it, right? Like, even though you see a name on the screen, go watch like some of my matches from NEC. You could hear me in the back.
Yeah. See, like when they go over to the cam, where you were mashing the fucking thing with a fatal blow. It's like, you get those meme moments. Yeah.
Yeah. It adds to the viewer experience. It adds to the audience sitting in the
crowd.
In the crowd, it makes MK fun and hype. You know.
100%.
Now I'll admit, being fun and hype, there is a thin line between that and cringe. Okay, you don't want to be down. You don't want to be cringe.
Yeah.
I've been cringe plenty of times.
Same. Guarantee. I
definitely have been cringe, but I think that's what it's about. You got to be able to find how you can contribute to the community. You know, coming up with a character. You know, challenging people to sets. Posting tech vids. You know, there is always room for you to grow your brand.
Yeah.
But you can't just fucking start with the goddamn brand.
Yeah.
And expect it to,
explode.
You know, slap professional on it. And you think you deserve a fucking pro tournament with $50,000 on the line. Fuck you.
You don't deserve shit. For real.
You haven't done shit. You haven't.
No, for real. It's years like in the making, and you know, is it putting in the time?
It takes a lot of work, and if you guys want it again, we have to work together.
And there has to be some sort of like you said, like everyone's kind of like, there's almost a problem that everyone wants to be the guy. You know, everyone wants to be like the head, and then like everything kind of circles around them. But it's like,
come to me for the newest tech.
It's like, right? And it's like everything. It needs to be the community, because you build up the community in any way. Like there's a bunch of free ways to do it, like these like big events, or like even the other content creators, because the bigger people get, the more likely they're able to reach people who haven't seen this stuff before, and then that gets more people into it, which builds up more of an economy within that. And so like there definitely needs to be more of a focus on building up the community, and it's no one's responsibility to do that, but if you want the community, you have to build it up in some way.
You could build it, and like I think of Sonic Fox's YouTube, like how many eyes are on it, and I wish Sonic would upload tournaments. Yeah, and got all these people. You need stories. You need lore. You need more than just this character is nuts.
Yeah, this is the best Johnny.
that works for your content, but it doesn't work for the community.
Yes.
And I get a big sense. Part of this is MK1's fault too. It's not, I can't just create a lobby, and say, all right, test your might lobby, come and get games.
Yeah,
but you still can create an environment with that amount of people that these people have, and you can promote tournaments, you can showcase other players, you can help bring people up, because if you do that right, you get say you get featured on this stream, instead of this crazy Johnny player feeling like some sort of realm of I can't reach that, it would be reachable, right? It would motivate people. It would motivate people, like, okay, Sonic, and I'm just using Sonic as an example. It's notable. Imagine Sonic, really giving expose to players, right? Yeah. That would motivate people. I'm good. I'm going to get good. I'm going to get premiered on Sonic's channel to talk about of the community. Kind of like what I'm doing with you right now. Imagine Sonic did this.
Yeah, imagine someone who people care about did this. This would be amazing. The community would grow so much.
Right. and have them show gameplay, play the game with them. Somebody at their caliber can do so much more and build a lot more.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they want to do it.
Yeah, and it's not their responsibility at the end of the day.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
It's
and I understand that, but it just
it would be nice.
Is what it is. We're, like I said, we're in a spot where players spend all their money and don't get fuck all in return. And Warner Bros. Doesn't spend. What
are
they
gonna spend anything? Yeah,
we're gonna throw you $50,000 for what? The game's selling just fine.
Yeah, and so
these suck. This sucks, but this is reality.
Yeah, because when
reality
someone
is
when a casual is not gonna be able to watch competitive gameplay and understand really what's going on. You know what I mean? It's just they're pressing. When I first started watching competitive MK, it was they're just spamming combos. They're just they just do the same combo over and over again. And it's obviously the whole thing is the neutral and how you get the opening, and then certain openings lead to different combos and if you're in the corner
and sequences.
Yeah, but people not understanding how they get this opening to do the combo is that's a big bridge that is. I don't know how we could possibly solve that.
That's just kind of intuition with the game, and you can't teach intuition.
Yeah.
That definitely comes from game to game, though, and how you can open people up. In MK1, you do have a lot of defensive options.
A lot of offensive options too. Think about it.
There's a lot of options.
there's options. You have stuff to do. There's buttons to press for sure.
You definitely do.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my whole thing about it. It's just, I think we need to recognize this and rebuild.
Yeah.
And then with whatever we decide to build in its place, and this is fucking easier said than done. Trust me. If NRS decides to dip their toes back in, we'll be ready.
Yeah. It's they say you got to be to be successful in anything you need a little bit of luck, but you need to be ready for it. If we have this huge infrastructure of grassroots events and the NRS comes in and drops a Pro Tour on it, and if we have all these, they said that big E events, we're getting 10K pop bonuses and being part of the pro comp, in MK11 at least, so it's
that went back to MKX. MKX, they started because we had the MKX, they used to throw money around like crazy. They had ESL, they had 10K pop bonuses for all sorts of tournaments. Then again, Yomi got all that fucking money.
Yomi got it.
Regardless, that
Yomi and Sonic,
they definitely can do it, but they had a framework to do it. And what's happening now is it's becoming so expensive. It's becoming such a fucking money hog.
Yeah, high overhead.
Interested.
Yeah.
I think as a community we have to either one, accept the cards you're fucking dealt and just go back to the online era abyss, which I don't want. Where we just we're really out of pocket, and the only thing that gets our community attention is when somebody is doing something really malicious or is just really unlikable.
Yeah, because like it's like I'm sorry to cut you off again, but like with the social media stuff, it's like when you post something that people will be like, we'll like it, and maybe be like, that's awesome. When you post something that like some people like but some people don't like, you'll get both, and that's what fucking spreads around. Or like even if you, yeah, exactly. Or like something that like people are more likely to comment on something they almost don't like, so they can like kind of be like, you're doing this wrong or whatever, and then that's the thing that spread because it hits algorithm because people are interacting with it.
And then you got some motherfucker that has never played Mortal Kombat at all talking about how Sector being a woman is like, you know, it just goes fucking off the fucking the end, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's just one of my all-time favorite characters. It was just like, I didn't know it was a person until MK9. Like, I thought it was just a robot. Like, and I was like, I love this thing. I love this red fucking robot. It's like, oh, it's a person? Okay, that's cool. Oh, it's a woman now? Okay, like, sure.
Yeah, like they did like anything's possible.
Yeah,
you know. And we just, I think before I tangent. Trying to keep myself on one subject. The ADHD is fun to fight with. You know, we as an MK community need to find just a sequence of events. You know, and this is not something you can necessarily just fucking designate. You know, okay, event 1, event 2, event 3.
Yeah.
But if we do have a couple of people who band together and do some work, you could create a competitive Mortal Kombat league. Think of it like if we had the Test Your Might League, and it was a series of offline tournaments that Test Your Might promotes and you know, shares information on, you know, we guarantee you full press coverage. You know, like we'll have somebody write up a news story of the topic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It would take a lot of organizing, and it would take one person basically spearheading it. And it's like we basically need someone to be very, very generous, to give way more than they would ever possibly get back. And it's like, who's going to do that with busy lives, you know, full-time work schedules?
If it's not a person, it has to be an organization.
Yeah. And then that organization as a whole needs to be able to
better not be as big as Warner Bros. I'm just saying. That's what we need. We need, you know, this sort of organization for our offline scene more than we've ever needed it before. And you know, just really banding together and just being like, okay, you know, let's just say Combo Breaker is our Evo, or like Evo is our Evo. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And plan our events, and it's as simple as that on paper, but of course it's much more.
It's more complicated, and there's a lot of people that want to be the guy, and they do their own events, and it's like kind of mixing up, and then they run over the same night on the same weekend, and then.
If you think you're the fucking guy, stream without fucking running a tournament and see how much of you are there's actually.
Very true.
Trust me, I have 30 fucking thousand plus followers and shit on Combat Network. Yeah. I get like 2 viewers. I know it's not we stream a tournament, it's got everybody in there. It's okay. I believe you want to be the guy, you have to earn it. Yeah. You have to put the work in. You can't just have people congregate. And it's just like, yeah, here's me. I'm a content creator. I run tournaments. It just doesn't work out for the community.
Yeah,
because it's kind of like for everybody's. It works for like the online scene. Offline scene though, it will never work.
Yeah, it's like kind of like what happened like with True Radio TV. We just decided to start running events. There's these tournaments called Sunday Night Slaughter that were like local to my area, where it's like the people from my area, like anyone could play, but they were like kind of focused around a lot of people from my local played, but we had people from like Arizona playing and stuff. So, and that went away, and they stopped running it because there's just like, you know, time and stuff like that, money. So we decided we'll just fill in. We'll start running tournaments on Sunday night, same time slot, and eventually we just didn't stop. We just Sunday tournament, and now we're people like, you know, it's obviously in the name True Radio Sunday, but it's like we become like now it's Sunday night, there's a Strawberry Sunday tournament, and it's kind of like you need to be, if you want to grow, you need to be able to do something like that, where it's like you're either this big thing, maybe if you have it like that and put up a huge amount of money, people will show up, people will enter, people will come, but you could also just keep doing it and keep on repeatedly over every week, do it, and eventually you get more people sign up, more people understand about the community, more people spreading the word about it. It becomes more and more prestigious, because that's kind of like Coliseum or some of these events, like they don't even start out with any pot, but it's like because it's the Coliseum, it has like this prestige around it, ran by Aquaman.
Right.
The visuals are going to be really good. It's going to look really nice. If you get on stream, there's going to be 300-400 people watching. So it's like he doesn't necessarily go and dish out money, but he's built up this thing that people will find prestigious, and it's like an accolade to win or do well or top 8 or whatever.
I'm just, and yes, all of that is correct. I don't want 300 or 400. I want 30 to 40,000 people. Right?
I would love that.
And in order to do that, you have to up the stakes. Mm-hmm. You have to go offline. Mm-hmm. You have to band together. Mm-hmm. It's not that what online tournaments, but like thank fuck we have online tournaments.
Yeah.
Right? That's not what I'm not saying get rid of them. I'm saying we need to band together.
We're leaning on it
to do an offline. We're leaning on it. Yeah, we're leaning on it.
Yeah.
Like there's no fucking way it's gonna work long term. Mm-hmm. Everyone's gonna get burnt out, and just the way they did with offline. I feel like there's a lot more effort on guys like you. Mm-hmm. You know, every Sunday night.
Yeah, gotta be online, run this tournament.
Gotta be online, gotta be doing. Trust me,
and organized through the Discord and stuff like that, and there's messaging people, and you don't get to see them, and like you don't know, people disappear, and it's like where'd they go, and you gotta try to find them, hunt them down,
and maybe I'm just getting to that age where I don't want to work, I have to work outside of work.
Yeah.
But like, just like even with the ABCs of Kombat, like helping the alphabet out, I'm just like, fuck, this is.
I don't like this.
Madness. I don't like this, and it runs itself.
Yeah, exactly. Like you don't need to bring this setup. Like, there's no setup. There's no plugging in those surge protectors and plugging in the TVs and the monitors.
I am like 3,000 more times stressed with an online tournament.
I think that,
I don't know what it is.
There's like
just so many things that could go wrong and be out of control because there's not everybody there.
Mm-hmm. You can't just yell on a megaphone and everyone's organized now.
there isn't like rules to your bracket that I feel like, okay, if something weird happens, we could rerun the match, or you know, there's no on-site, you know.
And then
you can't validate things. It's hard to validate.
Yeah.
So when player A tells me player B's internet connection sucks, I'm like,
that is like exactly. It's like the amount of times like I've had to deal with like this person's interconnection's bad. It's like, okay, well, a lot of the time it's like we're playing online and people like when you're further away from people, like we allow all of NA here, and if you're in New York playing someone from California, then the ping's gonna be like 120 plus, like most likely, unless you guys have like both have insane internet. So it's like at that point, what are we supposed to do? Like just play it out. Like there is a certain amount of it was like unseriousness or like that offline gives that online doesn't. I'm having a hard time figuring out the word, but since I made the top 100 ranking, there's like I can look at an offline event and know that's legitimate. That's a legitimate tournament. People flew out to this tournament and all these big names. But like online, it's like I know I've played in online events and like sometimes like I'll sign up and then my girlfriend's like, oh, we should go out to dinner, and I'm like, all right, like I'm not gonna sign up and not play. I'll sign up in Sandbag and just go 0-2 and leave, and then like, you know what I mean? Like there's people that do that. You have other things. You play in other tournaments. You know, your dad screaming at you.
You're not even playing. Your brother's playing for you.
Yeah, right. That's a possibility as well. Like Heidi accounts.
There's so many. Let's call avenues of error and things that can go wrong, and it's just different. It's just different playing online.
Yeah,
and the game sucks online. I'm sorry.
It does. It's so. That's what's so crazy.
It's fucking
like
terrible.
It's so good offline too.
Lag.
It's
It has 3 frames. But I don't know how competitive players can sit there and play in fucking mud.
Yeah, it does. Like, especially if you play like a lot of offline, and then you go and play
come
online
home.
again, and it's like I'm playing in like quicksand. Like, this thing feels so bad.
We should be able to adjust that frame, those frames. We should be able to adjust it, like true GGPO netcode, the rollback netcode that this is based off of.
You should be able to. You shouldn't need it. It's just like a buffer, right? It just
tile-
allows them to
Yeah, it's
have
an
more
input
margin for
buffer.
error. Yeah.
Yeah. It's to allow the shittier connections to seem stable.
Yeah.
They got to do better.
Yeah.
They got to do better.
All right.
I look at Street Fighter and Tekken, and I see such great online modes.
Yeah.
Ours definitely needs some buffs.
It's crazy because like Street Fighter 5, I remember they had like terrible online. And the Street Fighter 6 now all of a sudden, like, cause like NRS kind of had that, right, for a little bit. Like, they kind of had like, NRS has the good online, we have the good online, and now it's like, all right, now not only do we have just as good online, we have better online, plus all this other stuff, and then now there's this constant comparing, and there's this saying, comparison's the thief of joy, and we're constantly comparing MK1 to Tekken 8 and Street Fighter, and like, there is a decent amount of stuff. We still have tournaments. We could be like Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2, where the game's dead already after 6 months. And you'll be lucky to find an online tournament with 8 people. It's like, you can look at what other people have and be mad that we don't have more, but you can look at what other people don't have and realize that we do have stuff. Like, there's a good chance that we're going to be, at least at EVO America, like, we're going to be at Combo Breaker and CEO. I would be shocked. At least those two. I mean, Frosty Frostings were at Frosty's.
Still time. Yeah. We still have time for other events, man. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. I've seen this, like, I've been here for 13 years. We have the ability to build back. We just need the opportunity. And that, if people want to work with me, reach out to me. Reach out to Kombat Network. Like, let us know. We know offline is an important pillar of our community. The top of our top players, the people that you recognize, that you watch on YouTube, that have the ability to make a name off of their money. I mean, make money off of their name. Yeah. They did it because there was opportunity for them. And
or they made the opportunity for themselves by doing really well. Like, you go and you do really well, and then you become a bigger name, and then you can kind of grow off that. In a way.
I think however way you do it, they had an opportunity.
Yeah.
And
there's opportunity now. There's not like there's none. Yeah.
But it's not as effective. There's no storylines. There's no.
I've tried. I mean, I'm not sure if you looked at my YouTube. I made some videos talking about storylines leading up to tournaments and stuff. And like I've tried to do that. Imagine if like a bigger creator did that, like someone like Diff or someone like fucking Mike Trolinsky, or
instead of just like watch this insane Homelander and
shit works. It's
brain
like
rot.
It's just like look at Super. Like, Super's been fucking doing the same stuff for how long, and he's one of probably, like, who doesn't know who Super is?
Right. And I can't boomer rant that stuff out of existence. But
yeah, I'll give me 1 second.
It's just the reality.
I have to turn the light on.
Go ahead.
It's getting dark in here. Man, who's taking not turn on my light? We've been kind of going on this for a little while. Let's maybe I'll pivot to a question that I wanted to ask you. No, I like it. That was awesome. I really enjoyed that conversation. But so you still actively play some of the older MK games and the communities and stuff like that. This is kind of more of like a fun question. So like I compete in Super Smash Bros. Melee. And the game came out in 2001 and it hasn't been updated. So there's just certain quality of life things that you at this point are just accepted. That like if it was a newer game, people would be complaining to patch it out, but it's like it's not going to be patched, so you just got to accept it. The thing is like a thing called phantom hits, where you'll hit your opponent and they will take the damage, but they'll take none of the knockback, and they'll just be there. And so to this day, we don't exactly know why that happens, but it does, and it can be detrimental, and it could flip the tides of a game. But
cost you, yeah.
Yeah. So like in any of the older MP games, is there anything kind of similar to that, where it's like it's not getting updated? It's this weird thing that sometimes happens, and you just got to accept that might happen sometimes. Glitches, basically.
There's a glitch. It's called glitch jabs.
Yeah.
So in the old MKs, 1, 2, 3, Ultimate 3 Trilogy, 4, and Mythologies, you can essentially run, jab, and block at the same time.
Interesting. Is that like
So,
attack or is that like ban?
No, it's like they just love it.
Yeah.
You know, they fucking love it. They play.
Yeah.
They play. You'll see players. They'll run. They'll jab, and then when you see the defender hit,
Yeah, they'll be
the
blocking.
attacker will instantly block. It's like, what the fuck? Like, so it's essentially a technique that cancels the recovery frames with block. And you can just sit there, bang, bang, just constantly chipping.
Yeah.
And when they get into the corner, this is also allowed in UMK3.
Yeah.
You can do one of those like jab infinites.
Yeah, so it's like you run and
like,
yeah.
and you run jab, whatever the fuck.
And like you're more plus than
Yeah, you can't get out. It's a block infinite. You're dead.
Yeah.
Totally allowed in tournament.
Yeah. That's pretty is there controversy with that, or is it just accepted?
There's huge controversy with it because a lot of people dropped UMK3 when they started doing this, but now all of the UMK3 players play with it. So they've definitely adapted to it.
Yeah.
And the game essentially just becomes, when are they not fucking doing the OS? When are they not glitch jabbing?
Yeah. that's like the meta all revolves around that.
And that's what you get. You get really fast-paced UMK3 out of it, but the entry level is fucking no.
Yeah. I mean, that's how basically it is with Melee. Like
right, like you have to become diehard.
Yeah, you really have to dedicate.
Pick it up.
Yeah, like there was a span.
And I ain't that guy. I will play UMK3. I can, do some B&Bs. I can do run pressure.
Yeah.
I can do the glitch jabs, kind of.
But not perfectly.
But I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
No. And it's in other games. Like, people will, you might hear me being called like an MK2 person.
Yeah. I've seen you the tournament.
You can do it in MK2. MK2 at the highest level is also fucking horse shit.
Yeah.
That's because of the characters.
Yeah.
They're ridiculous in that game. And
while
it's not phantom hits, there's the glitch jabbing is pretty just like egregious.
Yeah,
like you have to essentially you figure out, and the way that they describe it to you is they're trying to hide the fact that they're attacking and defending at the same time. So I feel like that's got to take the cake for me. And there's a plethora of
I'm sure there are.
But that's definitely it, yeah.
Yeah, something that, like, if that was in MK1, it would be all over Twitter. Everyone would hate it, yeah.
Imagine canceling. Johnny Cage could cancel his standing normal into block. Like instant, like it's so fucking fucked up.
Yeah, there's like a lot of the stuff in Melee, like if you
and then imagine getting in the corner and I just jab infinite you and
yeah,
like, this is good.
This is fun. Yeah, I love this. I can't wait for my turn to play the game.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, there's a ton of the stuff in Melee, so that's cool. So we talked about it a little bit, but I don't want to dive in more. You were in the game. You came in when Mortal Kombat 9 dropped, where there wasn't really a ton of support. Then you were there for like the MKX, Injustice 2, MK11. I know you weren't a big fan of MK11. We can get into that, but
I was there though.
You were there, and like MKX, Injustice 2, and MK, at least the first year MK11 had these big pro comps with tons of stops, 10k pop bonuses at all these tournaments, plus a finale with like 100k on the line, tons of prestige, a lot of people going to these events, big sponsors, and now we're kind of
production.
Yeah, big production. Yeah, like, people in suits. I remember watching. Like, before I was even involved in this game, people like commentating in suits, and they're standing there and
ketchup and mustard ties.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now we're back, we're MK1, where we don't even know if we're getting a pro comp. The last pro comp was like, we got something, which is nice, and people, made money and got their bags, and that's awesome. But it wasn't it was a spectacle, but it wasn't like a huge spectacle. A lot of people weren't about it. There wasn't a ton of events. Like MK11, like there was an event every month. It was like Combo Breaker, CEO, Evo, Celtic Throwdown, Vianality, ECT, NEC. Like all these events had 10k pop bonuses, people going out,
colored stages.
Yeah, and MK11 where with the stage had like
I remember.
And now I said we're at this point where we kind of lost it again. So like, what was like, you know, there's all this community perspective, and I only know, like, I got into 11. I wasn't even on. I made my Twitter because of MK11. I got to competing, and people are like, how'd you find out about these events? And they're like, oh, you got to be on Twitter. Got to be on Twitter. So eventually I cracked down and made it. And so, like, the public perception of the game and how the devs, I guess, kind of supported it from MK9 to MK1. Like, what was that like, I guess, through, like, each, like, iteration? Does that make sense? Am I asking that question correctly? Do you understand?
Like, what was it like?
Yeah, so, like, what was the community like, I would say? Like, in a way, because you had, like, we had, like, grassroots to kind of, like, Hollywood, big name to back to kind of grassroots again. Kind of one full circle.
I mean, yeah, it was pretty cool, you know, seeing the production values go up. You know, even for MK11, it was really awesome to see them do the full production. You know, it's really awesome. It makes me feel like, yeah, like now the kids can have what I wanted when I started.
Yeah,
you know, this big production where you get on camera and you know, you get just immediately fucking direct to the crowd. And I would say, like, from the end of MK9, we had our storylines, right? We had the CD brothers, we had Rio, you had Sonic Fox just kind of getting started. You know, then the fucking reign of Sonic Fox started, and you as a community, NRS's support never really dictated the community until I feel like now. Nobody left because NRS was adding stuff.
Yeah, you know exactly. I mean? So it's
nobody left except for like normal. Like, I'm fucking 30 and I have a family now.
Yeah, I have 2 kids and I can't play MK every day.
They can't do this anymore. You know, the normal revolving door of people.
Yep.
But this is the first time where I'm seeing, like, yeah, like they're going away, and we're just kind of in a sitting duck where it's like, it's worse than what I walked into.
Yeah,
like, I had ECT. ECT was really grassroots when I started. I had Big E tournaments. I don't have those now, and it's unique. And that's why I'm kind of being the person that I am lately, where it's like I'm trying to get more involved with Test Your Might. I'm trying to get it out there that Kombat Network is, you know, looking to collaborate and work on things. You know,
you're doing podcasts with content creators. Like,
I'm yapping after full days of work with my man Poseidon. I feel like what's essentially happened is that we've reached, I don't know if about full circle. Like, I feel like it's worse than when I started. Yeah,
it's like we're lower than the beginning of 9.
Lower. MK9 was just like, yeah, we're getting pro tournaments. Yeah, the Street Fighter players are letting us run MK9 in the other room. Right? Yeah. And then we went up, oh shit, 10K pop bonus. All right. Oh fuck, we got Pro Tour. And then we got this for a little while. And then boom. Gone. MK1 got a little bit of a Pro Tour.
Yeah, it's kind of like half-ass one.
The Mountain Dew Pro Tour.
Yeah, Mountain Dew Pro Tour. I forgot about that. Remember ECT? I saw all those Mountain Dews.
And then boom, gone. So that's where we are. But the 16-year-old me created a Test Your Might account or heard word of mouth through a tournament. He's going to end up at one of these big-ass tournaments that has commercialized the entire process. And it won't have the same effect. So it's very detrimental. I can sense NRS and the WB's support being gone.
Yeah, I think
we don't have a liaison. We never hear anything being how do I say transparent? They're never transparent. So it's like, okay, well, why would I do this if you don't want it?
Yeah, true. Like that was my whole thing with, like, people were like, oh, well, we have a right to complain. It's like, you do, and I understand things weren't perfect. Like, you want to let people know, like, hey, this wasn't right. But, like, when they when it seemed very obvious that that NRS probably like really wanted it and WB kind of like conceded and was like, sure, like do it and you're responsible for it. Like you guys are responsible for it. Like we'll endorse it, but you do everything. And then all this backlash about the events not being, announced early enough, and obviously the legitimate complaints, but. But you always think of like we aren't guaranteed this. Like if we just ridicule them and WB's like, hey, look, like why would we do this again? We gave money or whatever. We gave you guys consent. All it did was give us backlash. Why would we do that when there isn't the new hype of the new game anymore? And we probably just sold a bunch of DLC last pack, $50 a pop, and probably made a fuckload.
Exactly.
Like. Why are we going to go now dump 200,000? Yeah, and a bunch of production and have to hire a bunch of people and pay people because it's $200,000 plus running a whole tournament plus having like liaisons or whatever,
travel,
and,
expenses,
like that's probably
contracts and legal
commentators and
taxes and all this shit.
That they don't have to deal with.
Fuckers think you deserve it, and it's just like, why? Like,
why would they do that? They're like I said, I go back to just because the people that make the football don't run the games. They're not refereeing the games. They're not making sure they happen. They're not making sure they're on Fox News or not Fox News, but Fox Sports and they have the commentators and stuff. Like they don't do that. They make the football and they're like, here you go, and then someone else does it. You know what I mean? Like. It's just not
true.
Yeah, and they could. It would be nice, but like it's basically out of the kindness of their heart because it's shown, and I think that's kind of the problem is like with MK, X and Justice 2, MK11. I think they probably really saw it. It's like we didn't see a lot of return on investment. Like it was cool and people liked it, but like it's kind of like these competitive.
It's really cool.
I enjoyed it, but like,
is it selling copies of Mortal Kombat?
No. Because they're selling themselves. The copies, like 90% of the people playing the game are probably going to get on, play the story mode, maybe do some towers, maybe
go to my merch store. Go to my merch store, buy my T-shirt.
Yeah, right.
There is never go buy Mortal Kombat 1 right now.
Yeah, like they call it to actually like get the copy of the game and bridging people from not getting it to getting it. It's like. And it's not like and then there's
I didn't mean to interrupt. I apologize.
No, you're not.
Like Mortal Kombat is not advertiser friendly, so you also have to add that.
Which is a huge hurdle. I was
gonna fucking cough up the cash for this, man.
Yeah.
Especially in this day and age when advertising is being pulled from everywhere. Like
from Trevor TV.
When was the last time you've seen a normal advertisement? You ever think about what's the last time you saw like a Nike ad?
It's a Nike ad, like just like watching like cable, like it just popped up on like. Who watches cable anymore?
Right. Like so, it's mostly like using the internet. I have YouTube Red, so I don't fucking pay for. I don't see ads on YouTube. So it's like, what ads do you see, right? Like,
and it's like if you do, it's usually like based off of like your data, like you whatever you search, they'll sending you advertisements based off of like I talk about cat food, like I'm gonna buy my cat's cat food, and all of a sudden, cat food.
but advertisers in those engagement systems, there's nothing for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
it's just Mortal Kombat.
Like people are gonna buy it. Like
the only thing that's
it's iconic already. It's the name. Like it's like the name Mortal Kombat is gonna sell titles. Like they announced Mortal Kombat 2. Tomorrow comes out in 5 months. Like they're gonna sell millions of dollars worth of copies.
Oh yeah.
And they don't. They wouldn't even need to advertise in that much. So like they will, and they'll just put out commercials. Maybe you'll see it on TV or whatever. And you know what? I'm gonna buy it.
I would too. And I'm just saying that a community can't expect these things to be handed on a silver platter.
We need
their fucking business, and if you want a business to do it, you got to do business, bro.
Yeah. There is a little bit like, and I know this like as a TO, and you've TO'd like at least you mentioned at least the ABC of Combat. I'm not sure the extent of your TOing history.
But I've done many offline tournaments too. Big E and those 10K pop bonus tournaments were ran by me.
Ooh, okay, that's awesome. Also, maybe we can dive in a little bit more to that. But
sure, go ahead.
What I was saying is that God, I lost my train of thought now. Damn. No. There's. I feel like there's like this general notion that like TOs aren't like allowed to profit, which is like silly, because why would they do anything? I mean, at the end of the day, like, I know you do it, like it's basically like everything is supposed to be like for the love of it, and for that is true, and that is the heart of it. But at the end of the day, if people are going to put in their hard time, their money, the effort, the organization and everything, like, and you're basically expected to do that on a volunteer level, that's not really sustainable, because people are like, so you have life and family and you have your full-time job, and the last thing you want to do is just give away a whole night or a whole weekend day to sacrifice your time, get told how the bracket ran too long, get told how you should do this better, how the stream went out because the internet for some reason wasn't working, and doing all these problems, and you're the last person to leave. And then it's also like, oh, like, where does the money go? Like, there are people that ask, like, I used to, I was in a fraternity in college, and I would run Smash tournaments in there, and people, like, I would charge a $5 venue fee, and they're like, where does it go? I'm like, I give it to the people running the house, and like, it goes to fraternity to help us like get stuff, but like, I don't really probably, even then, it's like, when people realize there's like a gap between how much the thing costs and how much they charge for it, it's like, well, it has to be like zero or worse. Most of the time it's worse. I ran so many tournaments where I ran the tournament, first one to show up, last one to leave, organize everything, lose money. And nobody's coming to me be like, oh, let me give you $5, $10, $20 for your effort or whatever, and that's fine. I'm not expecting that, but it's like, at the same time, when it's the other way around, I made $30, because more people showed up than I thought, then it's like, oh, well, what are you doing with that money? It's like, and usually 9 times out of 10, I'll just put it towards a pop bonus towards a tournament, or
the next one,
or I'll buy like more stuff, another Switch, so we have more systems or whatever. It's like, yeah, and I feel like until we kind of understand, but I'll leave with this. Is there anything that you would like to say, or a question that you thought maybe I would ask that I didn't, or we didn't get to that, or just a last message or anything? The floor is yours.
Trying to think. Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything to promote, right? My whole
Kombat
thing is, Kombat Network, yay, support us. Okay.
Give us your hard-earned money.
Mainly, give me your fucking money.
All of it. And we'll run tournaments.
Fucking money. Yeah, if you want to support us, you can also just throw us a follow on Twitter.
I'll leave a link in the
Twitch.
description.
You can also follow myself on Twitter or Instagram. I'll throw that down there.
Ooh, Instagram.
I'm down there, guys.
In the description or above. It's above or below.
I guess like my overall message is, this is bigger than you. This will be bigger than you. It will be here when you leave. It will last a long ass time.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want a better future for your scene, you want a more fun, engaging scene, you want what we just fucking had, you got to put in the work. It's
on us,
and it really is on us. And just like we've always discussed, it's either one really fucking generous person, or it's a really generous organization.
Yeah.
And I think if we want to survive and really unite all of our many online communities that all deserve their own followings that they get, that they earn, I think they would all greatly benefit from an offline tournament series that we all could chime in and contribute and build off of.
Yeah. And so something that goes with that, and something I've seen like in the Smash community do, is with some of these bigger tournaments, they'll stream them on, like, I'm not sure if you know, like someone like Mango is probably one all-time Super Smash Bros.
The Melee Gods.
Melee Gods. Yeah, the Melee Gods, or like Hungrybox, like they'll stream them. Like CEO was streamed on Hungrybox's stream. Like there's Smash Factor was streamed on Mango's stream. And it's like, it gets the people who like them. Like, there's people who watch Sonic Fox who probably never seen a tournament before, who will tune into the streams, will watch the YouTube content, know Sonic Fox is this amazing player, but doesn't know anything about the competitive scene. If there was a stream where they turned into Sonic Fox and it's a tournament, and it has, it doesn't even need to have big crazy names, but if it did, obviously it's more viewership. And like, if these people come out, and a lot of them, they have put in the work already, and they're kind of able to enjoy the fruits of their labor, and they should be able to. Like, they shouldn't have to show up to every local. Like, I mean, you have people like Gurr who do, and like obviously he's been a pro for. I mean, he was in the Injustice 2 Pro competition finale, and like 2018, like 6 years ago, and still showing up Friday night after a long work week to compete for $30 and spend his Friday night playing some Mortal Kombat. Like, he does that every time. But like, if that did happen, like, and that's kind of like a marketable thing. Like, you know, people like I mean, I would probably go if I was closer every time I could. But when he's like, oh, I could get friendlies with Gurr, you know what I mean? Like, or like, you know, I can get friendlies with Sonic Fox, or you can get friendlies with, you know, Tweety or whoever.
It's called casuals. Fucking,
oh my god. I can run the Johnny Ditto with you one of these days. The Ditto, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. Smash isn't a fighting game. I come from a different genre. I'm sorry.
No. I'm teasing.
No, I know, it's funny. It's funny. They're called casuals, actually.
Yeah, fucking Smash Brothers.
Smash Brothers players.
Brawler.
Platform fucking. Oh, they're playing Super Mario 64, but they're fighting each other for some reason.
I've heard that. I've heard all of that.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. This was awesome. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. And we kind of just got to like, I didn't even get to like a ton of questions. We kind of riffed the whole time, which was, I think, makes for like a better one of these things. So
yeah, if you were in the comments, were able to stick through this and not skip around, and you actually sat here and listened, did you tell us what we talked about? Because I don't know what happened. What happened?
Forgot. What happened? Can you give a summary? Because I don't remember anything.
I don't remember. That was awesome. No, thanks for having me, and you know, take it easy, folks.
All right, and I'll see you guys at the next video.